Hello! In this video I will talk about, well, Fnaf references and other media.
Raise the roof to save the stranded Teddy. You betty that they're ready when there's a bare need for Freddy. They held steady.
Yeah, I was recently playing The Binding of Isaac and stumbled upon the Five Nights at Mom's achievement. And that gave me the idea to make this video. I will go over and talk about different references to FNAF in other games, movies, TV shows, and more. Like and subscribe, and let's start. So the first one is gonna be the one I already mentioned, that being the Five Nights at Mom's achievement. You get this achievement by beating the game 5 times in a row with different characters. That may sound like a lot, because it is, but there is a bug where you only need to do it 3 times. In Isaac, each achievement unlocks something, whether it be a character, item, new floors, a boss, etc. This unlocks special tinted rocks. They are like tinted rocks. Tinted rocks drop extra goodies, but you need 2 bombs for these, and they drop double the reward. Of course, Five Nights at Mom's is a reference to Five Nights at Freddy's. The main antagonist of Isaac is Mom, and it ties in with how you get this achievement. You have to beat it 5 times. Side note, Isaac is a pretty cool game, and is it really a surprise it has a FNAF reference? It references a lot of other media, which is neat. And yeah, if you wanna see more Isaac streams, just let me know. Deltarune, the sequel to Undertale. A game that, along with FNAF, rose to popularity and shaped a part of internet culture. This game contains a FNAF reference. There is a place called Icy's Pizza. A character called Burger Pants is standing outside. If you talk to him, he mentions Purple Guy. You know, William Afton. Some people have also pointed out that Icy resembles Freddy a little. Moving on to another indie horror game, just like FNAF. Emily is Away. The game is set in this messaging service, mimicking Windows XP. If you enter Freddy as your screen name, you will get a nice Freddy Fazbear profile picture, and Emily mentions a pizzeria. Yeah, most of these references aren't that big, so yeah, don't expect them to be very substantial, just mentioning FNAF in a small way. This might not seem like much, but this is a comic that came out shortly after FNAF released. The comic was made by Dimitri, and it features his character, OC, whatever it is. It's about him playing FNAF and finding it so scary that he wants to protect the poor child by brutally decapitating and burning Frederick Fazbear. You might be thinking, so what? Well, I wanted to mention this because Dimitri went on to make Benny and the Ink Machine, a game that is often put in the same category as FNAF, that being the mascot indie horror genre. Speaking of Bendy, in Bendy and the Dark Revival, there is a puzzle where you arrange this. A bunny, a bear, a chicken, and a fox. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. Let's talk about another indie horror game. In Garden of Really? 2 fucking videos in a row? Great. No, great. The 7th. Yeah, 7th game. That's also the 6th game because Garden of Abandon 5 didn't come out yet. There's a poster with the lick of 78, clearly referencing the bite of 87. I am reconsidering all of my life choices right now. Gravity Falls. The cartoon with the most based character of all time. The most based characters of all time. It had an episode featuring Zeus, the love of my life, downloading a dating simulator. But the character, Giffany, turns out to be evil and wants to kidnap Zeus to keep this magnificent specimen to herself. Wait, dating sim character? Becoming self-aware? During the episode, they visit this place. Pizza place to be precise. It features animatronic characters and Giffany possesses one of them. You know, evil animatronic possessed robots. Where have I seen that before? Yeah, it obviously reminds you of FNAF. And this is one of the most popular examples of FNAF references in other big franchises, or inspirations. But could this be a misconception? This character resembles Showbiz a lot. I mean, come on. Look at all these guys. Plus, this episode came out September 22nd, 2014. Like a little over a month after the original FNAF came out. And yeah, these episodes aren't made in a week, they're not South Park. They take several months to make. It's reasonable to assume that one episode of Gravity Falls takes about 6 months to produce. That is the case for most cartoons, so yeah, this is most likely a coincidence and not a reference to FNAF. I put this in the video because, well, a lot of people still think that this episode was inspired by FNAF. But you know what? Let's forget this show with a yellow triangle, and let's talk about a show with a yellow square, SpongeBob SquarePants. Like Gravity Falls, SpongeBob also contains an episode with some animatronic characters. However, unlike Gravity Falls, these are more similar to the animatronics from Fnaf. This is a bear and this is a bunny, just like Freddy and Bonnie. In addition to this, the bunny is purple. Now Bonnie is blue, or at least a kinda desaturated version of blue that in certain lighting conditions can be mistaken for purple. This could be a reference to that, and the people that designed this character just used stuff like the poster for inspiration. I don't know if this is a clear-cut reference to FNAF, but hey, it's fun to theorize because, well, they are similar. Did you know that FNAF is in a movie? No, I don't mean that one. In 2018, a comedic horror movie parody titled Bloodfest released, and it had the iconic FNAF 1 poster in one of the backgrounds. If you wanna see it for yourself, it's actually in the trailer. Link in the description if you'd like to check it out. Man, it's good that unlike these two, there's finally something that I definitely know is actually a reference. Speaking of like movies with FNAF in them, the wait for the FNAF movie was certainly something. I stared at this poster for hours. I just couldn't wait to finally watch the movie. But this poster was actually parodied quite a few times. It was parodied by Mob Entertainment, the guys behind Poppy Playtime. Also, NASCAR! A real-life sport posted this image on Twitter containing the championship 4. Basically, 4 drivers qualify for the final race, and whichever one of those 4 has the highest position wins the entire championship. And in this poster, we see the 4 drivers and their names. Pretty funny, honestly. Some people view it as another company, franchise, IP, whatever you would classify as sport. Some people view it as them trying to take advantage of the advertising, but honestly, I think it's pretty funny. Garfield did it too, and I think it's pretty harmless. The next one is pretty funny. I'm Polish. Szkoła and Szpital were 2 popular TV shows, one about a school and the other about a hospital. Each episode was focused on a character or situation, and the shows were heavily dramatized. The storylines took the insanity to 100, and the acting was horrendous. Like, I'd say it's worse than they're on the same level as like what I'm doing right now. My basically voice acting, my reading the script, whatever. It's bad, okay? I sometimes rewatch these because the ironic enjoyment I get out of them is just way too much. In the school show, you can see him, Sir Freddy Fazbear I, on the cover of his book, staring at the audience. It's the Polish translation of the book too. Steam. You know what Steam is, don't lie, don't pretend, come on. During an event in 2019, Freddy's head is visible in the artwork. Okay, I know the name of the video was FNAF references in other media, and could this be considered as media? It's complicated, and if I'm being honest, I don't care. I thought it was cool, so I included it. The next game, TF2. That's right, I'm going to talk about Titanfall 2. No, okay. Of course I mean Team Fortress 2. Despite it having some problems currently, I love this game, and it features a map containing a FNAF reference. Now this map is community made, but so are a bunch of other TF2 maps, so I put it in this video anyways. The map features this security room. It has cameras and this door that resembles the door in FNAF 1. Some suspiciously similar buttons right next to it, along with a window, and this sign, which I feel is a reference to Freddy wearing a top hat and bow tie. Wait, now that I think about it, are all these guys naked? Well, apart from Foxy. Good on you, Foxy. Honestly, it's cool that FNAF is somewhat in TF2. Now, let's take a look at the Cartoon Network show starring Sans from Undertale, Steven Universe. A comic in the franchise features plushy versions of Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie, which is pretty cool. And in the game Creepy Castle, Chica is a playable character. This is pretty funny, and apparently this is because Scott donated to the game on Kickstarter, but I'm not able to verify this. As far as I know, this is technically the first FNAF crossover, so that's pretty neat. Spooky's House of Jumpscares, or Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion as it is now called, also features a FNAF reference. It has this little office with a fan and a phone. You are able to hear someone talking to you. They repeatedly say, hello. This being a reference to Phone Guy and how he just loves saying the word hello. Also, the voices tell you to not look into the fans, so that's something. In Mr. Hop's Playhouse, if you enter 1987 in the safe, they used to have Golden Freddy there. However, due to what I assume was copyright issues, it had to be changed and it is now just his hat. Fun reference, it was a shame that it had to be nerfed? What's the right word? Lessened? But I still think it's cool. So those were some FNAF references in other media. Do you have any that I missed out on? Honestly, the list goes on, and I only included a small fraction of all the references. Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Honestly, all these references just prove how much impact FNAF has had on video games and media and culture, and I wouldn't be surprised if this list kept on growing. So with that, why don't you reference FNAF in the next conversation you have? I promise it won't be cringe. This was GameSpeaking, and goodbye.